Now we come on to the delicate art of backlinking your site. First of all, backlinks. What they are and why they matter. What are backlinks? Well, a backlink is simply a link back to your site from another site. It's really that simple. They can come in several forms. They can be things like blog comments, forum signatures, profile links, or even links from your other sites. Once you start to build more than one site, you can start to link site A to site B, and then maybe site B to site C, and so on. But do they really matter? Well, yes, of course they do. Hence the reason for this presentation. Think of a backlink as a vote for your site. You see, the more votes you have, the more popular your site is likely to appear, and the higher you'll rise in the search engines. However, there's a certain word of warning to go with this, so hold on a second. This does not mean that you can just get links from anywhere and everywhere and think you're going to rank well because of them. There are lots of people out there that offer link packages or backlink packages on various different forums around the internet, and in many cases, they're trash because they are not from sites that are related to your market. In fact, you need an authority site and authority link as a result. The sites that you get links from need to be sites that are related to your topic and ideally have a certain amount of authority within that particular niche. Now, in order to get these sites to link to you, you may have to provide some good quality content, like good blog comments, for example. How many times have you been on a site where there are comments that just say things like, "Great post, I'll keep reading," or something like that? It's trash. It's just there in order to get a backlink to their own site. You need to provide some real value for people, and of course, no spam. Don't just try and get the link. Give some value, as it can only help your site and encourage visitors and encourage potential visitors. What you're going to build is this. First of all, backlinks are known as external links. They come from outside your site, so you're going to build a link network that looks somewhat like this. Now, you don't necessarily have to link back to the authority site, as shown in this example. You can just link one way, so that people linking to you are the only direction in which the link is going, so the link doesn't have to be returned. Many people think that you have to do it this way, and actually, you don't. In fact, Google likes to see sites that have lots of one-way links into them, and this is worth bearing in mind when it comes to your link building strategy. You need to bear in mind that if lots and lots of people are voting for you, but you're not necessarily voting for them, it makes it look like you're the authority that everyone is linking to. Hopefully that makes sense. And you can see how that would work. It's like if loads of people were talking about one particular person at a party. That person somehow develops almost a type of celebrity within that particular party. Well, it's like the same thing, but the party you're at is the internet. Now, you can also build internal links that link you to a page on your site from another part of your own site. These are, as I said, known as internal links. External obviously comes from outside your site. Internal means it comes from within your own site somewhere. With that in mind, we'll go over and start to look at a few authority sites that you can get links from. Now, a couple you will have never heard of, and a few that may even surprise you. I'll also show you how you can find really good sites within your particular niche, or your particular market, that will link back to you. I will also, a little bit further on in fact, in the SEO part of the course, if you go over to the SEO area, you'll find more strategies for link building that are a bit more advanced. Here, we're going to keep it nice and straightforward, and nice and simple, and later on, we'll look at even more advanced strategies, as I said, in the SEO part of the course. For the time being, watch this video, and what I'm about to show you now, and we'll go over the recap again at the end, as we always do, and start to implement these, because these will be enough to get your site to start ranking. If you've done all the steps up to this point, if you've done the niche research and all those kind of things properly, then this should be a fairly simple walk in the park. Let's go over to the internet right now, and we'll go and start building our links. Here's the first place I want to take you to, and this is called Demos directory. Now, this is a little known fact by most people on the internet, but this is actually the directory that Google tends to use for basically ranking websites on the internet, and this, as a result, is one of the most powerful links you can possibly get. However, it's not the easiest thing to get into, surprise, surprise, because it's quite exclusive. If you're in this, it automatically gives you a huge boost to your rankings. We're giving you something amazing here, first of all. If you get yourself a link within this, then you'll be in a much, much better position. Now, the way you do this is very simple. What I would suggest you do, if you're a first-time user of this, go up to where it says Suggest URL and read this page, where it says How to Suggest a Site to the Open Directory. Basically, what you need to do is you need to submit a unique site. Obviously, make sure your site has all the content it needs on it first, before you try to submit it. But once you've done that, you can go back to the main homepage and you can search under Health, in my case, or whatever it is you're currently working on. Then you look for, in my case, Fitness. You try and basically drill down as deep as you can to something as specific, to a category that's as specific as you can for this. Once you get there, let's see if there's anything more specific. Health and weight loss. I guess that could be one I could look at instead. Let's see. How to get a toned stomach. It's probably more fitness, isn't it? If I was to look through there and probably see, maybe I could add to this. Let's see if there's any other types of search or types of area that we could look at. Advice and guides. Maybe that's it, actually. You can see the kind of sites that are already submitted here to this. Maybe this one is probably the best one we can think of for this particular one. Now, like I said, this is going to be difficult for you to rank in. You may have to submit several times. I'd suggest that you submit once a month, basically. Obviously, check first that you're not actually in there already. But if you're not in there, then you should go and submit it again, really. They say you should only submit it once, and then if you don't get in, you don't get in. But I know people who have submitted a few times before they actually got into the directory. The reason for that is that there's lots of people who are moderating these different requests, and obviously they might get hundreds of requests on any given day of the week or month. They're only going to deal because they're human. They're only going to be able to deal with a certain number before they have to get on with their lives. Consequently, you're going to need to take a couple of goes at getting into the actual directory. Here, you can see this is referenced information about losing fat, building muscle, and pursuing fitness. That's good. Tools, tips, articles, discussion boards, all of those are very specific, so we can actually submit this to a particular area. What you need to do is go to Suggest URL. This will mean that you're submitting to, in my case, Health, and then under the Health category, it's Fitness, and under that, it's Advice and Guides. Then we can come down here, and I can submit my site URL just there. Then we need to come down here and give the site a title. This should be your keyword. So in my case, how to get a toned stomach, no hyphens of course, just the keywords themselves. Then a description. Please make sure that you read everything on this page, including this stuff here. Basically, the thing is not to repeat the title or the description. Don't capitalize every word, and don't use all caps. Write descriptive sentences, correct grammar, everything. It doesn't have to be really well done. And then obviously put your email address in that you now have. And make sure you do the user verification, just here. And then come to the bottom and click Submit. It may take a couple of weeks, it may take months for you to get into that directory, but I would suggest that each month just come back here and submit again. You may want to submit to a couple of different categories, and not at any one time, obviously. Submit once. If it doesn't get in the first time, then try to be more specific, because they do require you to be as specific as you possibly can with demos. But that's the demos directory. If you can get a link in there, then your site will automatically be much more likely to rank in Google because it will just have a massive amount of credibility. That's demos. The next one is the Yahoo directory. Just type into Google Yahoo directory, and the top result will be dir.yahoo.com. This one right here. I've already signed in, by the way, but you need to sign into Yahoo, and you can do that with your Google account. It's very simple to do, but basically you need to come up here to the directory and click on Suggest a Site. Now, this one you do have to pay for, so this may or may not be within your budget. It is quite a significant amount. You pay a review fee basically of $299. Again, make sure that your site has everything it needs in there in order to be a good, reputable site. For example, you want to make sure that you have all the posts written, that they're all grammatically correct, and that they have their keywords, but not too much. Don't try and stuff keywords in. Make sure that it has the About page, the privacy policy. Make sure that all this stuff that I've shown you so far, make sure it's all done before you try and submit it to Yahoo. Don't jump the gun, because they'll just reject you and you'll just have thrown away $300. Go ahead and submit to this one as well. You don't have to do this, by the way. This is something that's completely optional. Demos is free to get into, so you might as well give that a go. But Yahoo is a directory that will give you a fantastic backlink that is worth a huge amount. Because this is obviously the directory that Yahoo uses, but it's not essential. Don't worry too much if you either don't want to or can't afford to get into this one right now. It's quite a big investment and there's no guarantee that you'll get in. So if you're building a big authority site and you're planning to use that one site to build loads of content, then fantastic. If not, then perhaps you might want to give Yahoo directory a miss. But it's just an option there for you anyway. Next up, I want to show you this add-on. This is for Firefox. If you're not using the Firefox browser, I suggest you get a copy of it. It's free to download. Just go to mozilla.org and you'll be able to then add what are called plugins or add-ons, in this case, and they're similar to the plugins that you'll get for WordPress. In this case, we're going to go for search status. This is the one that you're looking for, and what this will do is it will display the page rank and the Alexa rank, and also the complete ranking, and loads of other things as well, which I'll explain in a second, about the actual page that you're on. That way, you can see how much authority the page that you're on has. That way, you can see if it's worth getting a link from that page or not. Let's go ahead with Firefox. It will also tell you whether the actual link that you're getting is what's called a follow link or a no-follow link. And again, I'll explain more of this in the SEO parts of the course. But for the time being, just go ahead and install this plugin. Now, you'll have to restart Firefox with this, which means you may lose some of the places which you are logged into. Most of the time, it remembers, but we'll give this a go right now. Okay. So it's restarted Firefox, and it has, unfortunately, got rid of some of the tabs that I had open, but that's not a problem. I can reopen those in just a second. And the thing to do is go up here to where it says Firefox, and click on where it says Options, and then choose to have the add-on bar right here, because that sometimes is turned off by default. What that will do is it will bring up this bar at the bottom, right here, and this will display what's called the page rank and the Alexa rank as well. Now, Alexa is a site that ranks websites, and it ranks every website that exists in the world. And the page rank is something that Google gives to every site. Now, new sites will have a page rank of 0, and it could go all the way up to 10. Obviously, the more page rank you have, the more Google respects that particular site. Okay, so next up is to go to Google and to actually type in Tone Stomach Forum in my case. In your case, obviously, it's actually to use your own keywords, but my main route keyword, if you like, is how to get a toned stomach. I'm just going to put in the words tone stomach and forum, and these are the results that I get. Now, the reason we're going to do this is because we can actually go and become a part of a community on these various different forums, and we can actually put a link, in some cases, in the signature, which goes at the bottom of all our comments. Let me show you what I mean on one of these. Let's go. This one's called bodybuilding.com. If I open this up, you can see here, this has somebody who has said, what exercise for a toned stomach? I've put a bit of weight on over the summer, and I want to know how to get rid of a bit of flab from my stomach. What exercises would you recommend for a beginner looking to tone? Now, we can answer this very easily because we know, well, in my case, I can, because I know what I know. In your market, you'll be able to find similar results and similar things that you can help people out with. What you need to do is you need to obviously become a member of these particular forums. That's the first thing. The next thing, obviously, is then you can actually go and reply to these different posts. Someone here has already responded. This Crown 9139. This person has already responded right here. This is a cool thing to do. We can go here. You can see I've actually signed up already and actually created a profile for myself right here. What you can do as part of the profile is to come here and enter your homepage URL. Now, it doesn't necessarily appear after every one of your posts, but it will appear on your profile, and that's where you want this to be. Because the more you add to this community, the more responses that you create to things like this. So you just click on Reply Here. Upon clicking Reply, you get taken down to this area here, where it says Quick Reply. You can then type in something underneath, which answers this question. It helps Jessie, who's in the UK. She's 17, 5'4", 115 pounds. She's created 17 posts, and she's somebody you can reply to and let her know exactly what she needs to do in order to get toned. Now again, don't give this kind of advice unless you actually know what you're talking about, unless you've been through it and done it. Again, this is part of the whole. Don't make up the story. You can have a pen name, that's fine, not a problem. But you have to be somewhat of an authority on, or for example, in my case, getting a toned stomach. Now, I've done this. I've bought the products, I've used them, I'm no expert by any means, but I can say that in my reply. I can say, I'm no expert, but this is what I did to get my stomach flat, for example. And that can all be true, because it's something I've done. The whole point of this is to do something that is authentic, even if you're using a pen name. Then, you also need to make sure you go to the dashboard right here. Again, this is just for this site, but you'll need to find the area where you can change your profile itself. In this case, it's called the dashboard, and over here, we can go over and add various details about ourselves. Here, for example, where it says Profile, we can go and we can answer various different things on there that people will be interested in knowing. Add our motivation level, in this case, which is quite cool. Add our body stats, height, weight, body fat, those kind of things. Weight measurements, if we want to. Again, this is all for this particular market and this niche again, but it's worth making sure that you actually do fill out this information. Again, photos and videos are right there. Make sure that you just fill this out and that you create a real full profile. Don't be doing this just for the link. If you don't think that you're going to actually participate in this forum and actually start to create a bit of a community feel, then don't bother really doing this, because you'll find that it does require a little bit of work to keep this kind of thing building, and that's how you would market via the forum. It's just to try and create as much buzz around yourself as possible by just giving loads of really good free information and then allowing people then to track back and look at your profile and be able to start to see a bit more about you and obviously go to your site eventually, and then from there, via your affiliate links, buy your products. Again, it's just a question of being in a quite soft approach in terms of marketing. It's not a hard advertisement, but you're advertising yourself. We're all doing that at various different points in our life. And if you're on a forum like this, then it gives you a very good time and place in which to do that in a very specific market. Again, you can do this in any of the markets or niches that you're in. It's not essential, by the way. You can get by without doing any of this if you want to, but it does help to give you more credibility within your marketplace, and you can actually become an authority yourself in that market. You may even find that people eventually start looking to you for advice. That's how to do forum marketing, right there. Again, this is where I would edit my profile in the forum. This is where I need to make sure that my homepage URL goes in right here as well. I hope that's useful for you. That's one example. Another one that I found was Cosmopolitan. It's just here. Is it possible to get a toned stomach in 3 weeks? Someone asked on Cosmopolitan. Again, using my own profile that I've created with this character that I've got, this pin name, you can see I have the username Monica Green. This is the image right here. I can fill out all of these details here about me, sum up yourself, all that stuff, and then go down here. You have the ability to do a profile signature. You can write whatever you like right here, and I've just put my personal stomach toning story and then howtogetatonedStomach.com there. I've highlighted it and clicked on URL so that it becomes an actual link. Again, I've filled out my details and I need to fill out a few more here, actually, but I'll do that and start to actually relate to people who are talking about issues to do with toning their stomach. Again, I can do that now. It's slightly different, men and women, so I'll make sure that the information I give is geared toward females and that it's more specific. It's just a question of getting into that mindset as much as you can of your market, and in this case, it's definitely women, and therefore, it's definitely women who are looking to tone their stomachs for a number of reasons. I can find out the reasons right here on that forum. So again, that gives you an idea of how to go about marketing via the forums. Another way to do it is to go and build links back to your site. By the way, I should explain. On the forums again, the links go either in your signature or they go in your profile. Here in your profile, for example, that's where the link is, how to get a toned stomach. Here in bodybuilding, it goes here, and again, your homepage URL goes just right there. And again, it gives you an idea of where to put these things, and you'll just need to look through the various different types of forums that you'll find. Again, in your market, you'll find lots of different forums. I couldn't possibly go through every single type of forum that exists, but you'll just have to look for Update My Profile, or Add to My Profile, or My Profile, any of those links like that, and you'll find the place to put your link and to tell the world a bit more about yourself and your site. Like I was saying, this is another search I ran on Google. This is for a blog, so again, you'll put in your keywords, and this time, put blog in instead of forum. The idea with this is we're going to comment on some blogs. Now, the blog commenting is a very simple thing to do. As a result, lots of people are doing it. The key thing to do is to make yourself more interesting, and for people to follow your links back to your site. The key thing to do to make yourself more interesting and for people to follow your links back to your site is that you actually have to add some value and really help people out, or add to the discussion. Let's go and see this one here, Flat Stomach Blog. I'm doing this live and on the fly, so you can just see what you need to go through in order to find the kinds of places to comment that you want. Here's another one, Stop Compulsive Overeating and Get a Flat Stomach. Again, we'll look through it and see. This looks like a WordPress blog to me, so if we go through there, they're also promoting things to do with truth about abs as well, which is interesting. If we go down to the bottom, we'll see if it can. Yes, you see? Look, we can go down here and we can put these comments in. That means we can come down here and we can leave our username, our email address, our website, and then our comment. Now, this is the ideal one to go for. Notice also that comments are moderated, so you can't just put in nice post or whatever and then hope to get that submitted. You do actually have to add some value, and again, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and write a comment on this post. Obviously, I'll read the post first of all, so I'll know what it's all about and know what sort of things they're suggesting, and then I'll come down here and I'll fill out my details here as well. Hopefully, that all makes sense to you. There is also, I should explain, and I'll explain more of this in a second, but there is a school of thought, if you like, that suggests that you should put your username as your keywords. Please don't do that, because you'll find that none of your comments, or very few of your comments, get approved by people because they'll see that you're doing it purely for the link. You need, instead, to come down here and actually put your username, a real name, and an email address, website, and comments. I'll do that right now, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm done with that, and I've actually created a really good comment, I think, for this particular blog, this particular site. And I've read through it, and it's basically all about various different tips to stop overeating. I came down here and I wrote this. I wrote my username, Monica, the email address, the website, and then also the comment, just here as well. The comment is a really good one because it gives a tip that will help people. It's a tip about the author, who's called Jessica. I looked up the About page, by the way. I came up here, went to the About page, just right-clicked on that, and opened that in a new tab. And I found out that the person who owns the blog is called Jessica Oxford. To me, that sounds like a pen name, to be honest. But again, I'll enter into the spirit of it and go from there. Jessica Oxford. I came back here, and when I actually wrote the comment, I started off with, "Hey Jessica." Again, it's just a slightly larger chance that you'll get approved, and then I obviously left a comment, just here, that actually helps people who are reading this, and it gives them an extra tip that Jessica didn't mention. Then I'll come down here. One thing that's worth doing is to make sure that you actually copy the comments. Just keep it there for a second. Just copy it, and then click Submit Comment. Your comment will have to be submitted to the person who owns the blog for them to moderate it in most cases. Some don't have moderation, but it's very rare nowadays that they don't. Most have actually got some sort of moderation in place, and this will go into almost like a holding pen. And then once it's approved, then it will be set free on the actual blog itself. You can see here it says Monica, and that's when I said it. It says, "Your comment is under moderation." That's great, no problem at all. That's a comment. There we go, right there, a blog comment. You can see then, as a result, the more of these you leave, the better off you tend to find you'll be, because more of them will be hit. More of them will actually make it onto the site. You'll get more links back to your site as well. Now, the ideal type of link to get back would be a link that actually contains your keywords rather than your name. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. That's blog commenting. It's also commenting on forums and helping people out on there. I've also covered demos and the Yahoo directory as well. We'll go and do a quick recap right now, and then we'll move on, and I'll show you a very clever strategy that will get you lots of really good, valuable backlinks to your site from a source that, again, you may not necessarily be familiar with or necessarily know about, but it will help you a lot to get yourself ranked relatively quickly. There are some backlinking strategies for you right there. First up, add yourself to demos.org. Make sure you choose the most specific category that you can. So look for your particular category, either your competitors, or look up your keywords in the search area. And then go up and click on the Suggest URL part, when you've actually narrowed it down to a very, very specific part of the site. Then you can also, if you want to, submit it to Yahoo. Now, if you're planning to build an affiliate site that's going to become an authority in its market, then you may want to submit it to the Yahoo directory as well. If you're not, if you're going to just build sites and build lots of sites and rank for the keywords, and that's really all you're doing it for in order to just drive some affiliate sales, then you don't really need to submit yourself to the Yahoo directory. But I wanted to let you know about it as it's an incredibly valuable backlink if you're going to start to become an authority within your market or your niche. More strategies for you. You can also create profiles on a few forums where people are talking about your topic. Just go to Google and search for your keywords and then the word forum after them. Again, obviously don't actually type your keywords. Actually type in the words that you're using to rank for. If you just type in your keywords in capitals, you don't get very good responses. The other one is obviously for blogs. The same goes for them. Just go over to Google and type in your keywords and the word blog. Whichever you choose, and you may do both, of course. Make sure that you add as much value and help to the forum or blog as possible. For the time being, I suggest that you watch the next video in this series, and we're going to be talking a bit about some internal links. Then in the last video of this part of the course, I'm going to show you a really cool strategy for getting some great, valuable backlinks for very little effort on your part, which is always exciting. So let's go over there and go on to the next video. Obviously, make sure you've started to use some of the stuff in this video, and then we'll go over to the next video, and you can continue your journey of building your site and making it into a little authority.